As the whole world now knows, the DPRK has successfully launched a satellite into space. That means, of all the satellites that are currently orbiting the Earth, the DPRK is now one among the countries who have actually achieved that. Which also leaves us to say, well, I guess it wasn't really a missile after all. Now, despite all this, of course, some Western media and many Asian media outlets are still continuing to insist that it was a missile, despite the fact that the satellite was literally launched into space and did exactly what they said it was going to do. Now, the KCNA have announced this successful launch, which the rest of the world felt was actually not going to happen because they said they saw part of it being disassembled and taken away. Yet to get confirmation on that, but it appears that even if it was still a successful launch. The rocket went up at 9:49 a.m. local time, or 49 minutes Greenwich Mean Time, from a site on the west coast. It has been declared to be a success, and there is currently a North Korean satellite orbiting the Earth. North Korea says that its rocket has put it into space, but several nations still wonder whether or not it's actually there. It is now, however, a matter of fact that this was not a long-range missile deployment. Now, the rocket was said to have passed between the Korean Peninsula and China, with the second stage coming off around the Philippines before launching the satellite completely into orbit. Now, a Japanese spokesman said that it was extremely regrettable that the DPRK decided to go ahead and launch a satellite into space, and that it was something Japan could not tolerate. Although, interestingly, Japan being basically owned by the U.S. is something they can tolerate. Now, Seoul and Washington and other nations have tried to encourage the DPRK and condemn them for actually launching a rocket in space, fraudulently calling it a missile, saying that this would increase tensions within the region. But what it has actually shown is that the DPRK has had a significant leap in technical capability. Now, a statement was released on the Korean Friendship Association USA Facebook page. Further, DPRK will continue to exercise the independent right to use space, which stands above the UNSC resolution, being universally recognized by international law. Under the State Program for Space Development, we will expand the institutions for space development and go through the launches of working satellites of all kinds of essentials for economic development in the country, including geostationary satellites. This is a very positive step for North Korea and the prestige the country does rightfully so deserve. After just merely a failed test, it has successfully launched a satellite into space. Some of us are still wondering about the two previous failed South Korean launches, and that despite with all the advantages it has, like not having sanctions put against it, a blockade on technical know-how, and the United States' assistance in doing so, South Korea has still yet to launch into space. I think it just goes to show that technologically advanced DPRK is a good thing.